Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Good evening, my friends. Welcome to program To Know Spiritism. I'm Geraldo Lemos Neto, and I'm here with Marco Gendra from Minas Gerais, Brazil, to Kardec Radio, to Spiritism Dissemination, and DSN, Discovery Spiritism Network. Tonight, we are doing the program To Know Spiritism number 77. It's the fourth program that we talk about a tribute to Leon Denis, the apostle of Spiritism. Tonight, we are going to see his experiences with mediumship. Leon Denis and his Spiritist experiences. The way that Leon Denis experienced Spiritism is recorded throughout his whole work. And it's very profound and very important for all of us to know all of his books, because they are a collection of higher understandings and teachings throughout the whole work, according to Spiritism, according to the works of Allan Kardec, and according to the Gospel. It's so that it is a profound learning how Leon Denis can verify by itself the reality of Spiritist phenomena and the certainty of communication between the living and the dead. His reflections led to the creation of the group based on the Rue de Signy in the city of Tours, France. In my right hand side below is a glimpse of the Rue de Signy in 1866, and in my left hand side below is the hotel where this group used to meet to do the mediumship or mediunic reunions or gatherings. And they were all attended by Leon Denis himself. So let's talk about the group at the Rue de Signy. This group was already in function. It was a group of friends that was there that began to study the manifestations of the spirits in 1822, and it went up to 1877. So this group was before the arrival, was inaugurated before the arrival of Leon Denis. The experiences carried out by this group were very simple, with some cases of obsession occurring. And because of that, before the arrival of Leon Denis, in the newspapers, La Rumeur, years later, they asked for the prohibition of Spiritist meetings under the pretext every Spiritist meeting tends to continually drive the audience crazy, thus causing mental depression. Of course, that was the impression before Leon Denis joined the group and before he brought to them the teachings of Allan Kardec. In 1873, Captain Herman, that was a former commander of the sector of the port of Saverne in Strasbourg, joined the group. Meetings was then placed in his home, in the home of Dr. Aguzeli, who had a curious faculty of clairvoyance. Dr. Aguzeli relieved with remarkable clarity scenes from the past, his own past and others, and described his visions with characteristic features, like the ones he was describing that he was together in battle with the King Louis XIV. Under his influence, Leon Denis, who was already a writing medium, so we know that Leon Denis had the faculty of psychography. Also, he became, with the supervision of Dr. Aguzeli, a visionary medium, a medium that developed the faculty of clairvoyance. He reconstructs in the waking state impressive scenes from medieval times and ancient history. A number of these pictures are, as indicated by his guide, relating to his previous lives. Then he was also capable of describing the time that he was a warlord of a Frankish tribe. And at that time, he urges his warriors to kill the Gauls. Later, he relives episodes of bloody fight as a son, one of the sons of a famous Viking. So by those descriptions, we can see that Leon Denis had a very interesting and very powerful mediumship. Extremely curious fact he describes with Dr. Aguzeli, the same picture. So both mediums saw the same scenes, and most likely they were together in those ancient times. So the same scenes were seen by Leon Denis himself and also Dr. Aguzeli. And these scenes and pictures follow each other in the course of a single meeting. So they are very well connected. And he wrote, like a cinematographic film, like a movie scene. Then we can talk about the spirit of Sorella. That was a guide, a mentor guide to Leon Denis. She was also referred as the Blue Spirit. Her saying was work, courage, and hope. Sorella repeated every time to Leon Denis, this is what your currency life should be. The narratives of savage cruelty alternate in those meetings at the group, the mediumistic group. So the narratives of savage cruelty alternate with communications from familiar spirits with messages of serene philosophy, with affectionate exhortations from the spirit of Sorella, and also to Egeria, that is the group's counselor. So they used to receive the messages, the consoler and instructions, messages from Sorella and also from Egeria that were all the two of them group's counselors. Sorella is a good genius, always willing to assist Leon Denis in his studies and researches. She is a sister and a director of conscience. Her instructions and revelations, however, must have a useful purpose, like those two that I listed down. The first one, she wrote, "After night, dawn will come. Then the solemn hour will sound for you when you must raise your inspired voice and spread the precious doctrines entrusted to you as a sacred deposit around you." And the second one, also very beautiful, states, "I have made these things known to you, so that you may understand how strong you must feel in the face of earthly trials. Properly prevented for combat, you will be able to fight against the greatest dangers. The more you are favored, the more you will be required. Work, therefore, for yourselves and for your brothers. Be good, benevolent towards all and everyone. Comfort those who suffer. Help those who are hungry. Under these conditions, you will be able to enter the kingdom of God." Those citations were taken from the intimate notebooks by Leon Denis and the spirit of Sorella. Very beautiful instructions from her. We can see a picture of this. Of course, this is an artistic picture of the spirit of Sorella, the blue spirit, as wrote Leon Denis, is a very high-ranking female entity. When she animates the body of the medium, who is a shy person with little instruction, it changes the features of the face, which take on an angelic expression. The voice becomes sweet, melodious. Language is very pure. See her always surrounded. I see her always surrounded by a blue veil that has an intense shine. In addition to this protection, wrote Leon Denis, that the blue spirit reserves for each one of us, protection that we could prove with personal examples. It also allows time for general teachings, especially concerning the family and the education of children. So we can see that this spirit, the blue spirit of Sorella, is indeed a very high-ranking female entity in the spiritual world and was one of the most important mentors of Leon Denis. And also Leon Denis wrote about her. Our guide sees in an intelligent reform of children and youth education the only remedy for current ills, the real way to guarantee humanity a better future. So this is quite important even nowadays. Education, youth education and children education is the only remedy for all the current ills and the real way to guarantee our humanity nowadays a better future. We totally agree with her. We can see pictures of that time, the reunions and meetings that were taking place all over Europe and mostly all over France and Belgium. And Leon Denis was a little bit critical about those meetings that were taking place with not a higher purpose, with not a better place, in locations that were put in doubt, and because of frivolity, because of lack of understanding about how serious this was. As we can see here, some designs, some scratches at that time, and La Fluidomanie was a one designer that was Honoré Daumier that lived between 1808 and 1875, used to do drawings and sketches, criticizing and making fun of the Spiritists' meetings, but not quite the Spiritists, but the frivolity of the phenomena of the dancing tables and flying tables and so on. So he used to publish those criticisms in the book, in the journal La Fluidomanie, as we can see in those pictures. And because of that, many would say that a galloping epidemic in the 19th century was Spiritism. They didn't understand the profound teachings that a higher spirits could give us. So they used to make fun of it, like this journal that wrote, "Spirit, are you there?" And always putting in doubt the phenomena. And because of that, Leon Denis wrote to clarify and also to instruct us. I understood there, he adds, how dangerous it is to indulge in spiritist experimentation without preparation, without effective protection. And these examples made me reserved in such matters. So Leon Denis was a very serious person, very preoccupied with destiny of the Spiritists manifestations, the Spiritists mediumship groups that unfortunately were not prepared and protected by the higher spirits, because many of the people that at that time attended those meetings attended them with frivolity, with a very base expectations, frivolous and not serious ones. So Leon Denis, is urging us that we must be prepared. And to be prepared, we must study by ourselves, by good readings of the books of Allan Kardec, of Leon Denis, of Chico Xavier, by reflection to understand all those teachings, and also attending Spiritist groups to study those books together in groups. That's very important, because so that you will be prepared to have a place in the other meetings that can make a better and a more lucid approach to mediumship, to exercise mediumship, mediumistically receiving not only the higher spirits for our teachings and understandings, but also the not so developed ones that are suffering around us, so that they can also be instructed and helped. So we must be prepared. And after we are prepared, we are entitled to have effective protection from the higher spirits. Next week, we are going to continue to study the life of Leon Denis, and we will be talking about the war, the Franco-German War, Prussian-Franco War of 1870, and the influence that it gave to Leon Denis and his fellow friends. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed our talking, and hope to see you again next week with the program To Know Spiritism number 78. Have you all a very good night. Bye-bye.